all published and everything?
I don't have authority to publish your blog.
Nate texted me about it. He already asked about it, so...
Yeah, just text him and say publish it, if you can.
Did you put a thumbnail and shit in there?
I didn't do dick, Dave.
Why didn't you tell me to do it then?
Because I can't control your blogs. I don't have the authority.
Then tell me that.
I didn't know that until now. I've been cut off. Castrated by the dog. I neutered him, he neutered me. What are you going to do? Now I got no hand. Screw it. We're going live now. All right. Bang, bang. Shut the fuck up, Dave. Jesus Christ. You ruined my first bang, bang on the Dave Portnoy Show featuring Smitty and White Sox Dave. What is the Dave Portnoy Show featuring Smitty and White Sox Dave? The fuck if we know. About a year ago, we were streaming together, and Dave Portnoy started the DPS with Eddie. We threw this idea around and quickly shut it down, saying that it was very, very, very problematic. Us two morons just spouting instantly about the show and our reactions. And yes, we're idiots, but Dave, when did you start working at Barstool?
July 2020.
No.
Almost 10 years. Or July 2012, I'm sorry.
How did that even like equate to anything? July 2020.
I was on the side and I saw the words 2020 and I just did it in my head. July 2012, almost 10 years.
You see how problematic this is going to be? You're just saying something that we shouldn't be saying or doing something that we shouldn't be doing. I started May 2011. Dave's audio is very low. Okay, we'll bump it up. I started May 2011. We've been around a while. Yes, we're morons, but we're loyal morons. And we know a lot of stuff and the truth about a lot of things. And we'll react instantly and honestly to everything we see. Fix Dave's volume. Dave, speak. Give me like a 10 count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Sounds 10. Magical. Fix White Sox Dave's height.
I would pay to fix.
Hey,
I can't do that.
Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter how much we water him, he just won't grow. It's a shame. However honest that we are, we have full immunity granted by Dave Portnoy. What is full immunity? Let's hear them discuss.
Rico or something that happens in the office. What is the immunity?
I don't know. But it's nice to have immunity at all times, like, is it not?
Let's just, like, you say something about Nick or Brandon Walker that they don't like, and then you don't just get to say, well, you still have to like me because Dave Portnoy said I have immunity.
But
White Sox Dave he's just a guy who feels more comfortable when he hears the word immunity.
Yes, exactly. Does that not offer a little bit of comfort to anybody? Like, hey, you have immunity.
Sure.
Awesome. Let's fucking ride.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what you mean by immunity. So, if you say, let's just say you.
So we got full immunity. What does that mean? I don't know. I just wanted to get that in there, just with the assumption that if we say anything to piss Dave off, we wouldn't get fired. That's what my opinion of immunity was. What is your opinion of immunity?
Well, that's my opinion of immunity as well, but I didn't even realize that just having some immunity, no matter what that immunity does mean, does offer comfort. Like Ed said, it's like the dumbest thing I've ever thought, but I'm like, you know what? It feels good to be immune to things, you know?
Immunity is a great word and a great thing to have, no matter what it is. And we don't know what it is. Do we actually... But here's the thing. Do we actually have immunity? Is this like survival type shit or Survivor type shit where if we say something, we can't get kicked off the island and booted off Barstool? Probably not. Like, I think immunity just can only go so far.
No, it obviously goes so far, and I'll speak as honest as I know I can speak without teetering on the edge of maybe I shouldn't say this. I don't even come close to that edge. Like, for instance, which I'm sure we'll talk about. We will be talking about this right off the bat, I'm sure. The Rico thing on when I was on the rundown, like, that was me being just completely honest, taking off the character hat, like, no bullshit at all. I didn't like that. And we'll get into the Rico shit today, but, like, that was me being honest where I knew I couldn't get in trouble. For whatever I said, that's the kind of shit you're going to get out of me today.
Like when you call your boss a douche nozzle, or whatever you said. Like when you call your boss a douche nozzle, you're just being nice.
Being honest about it. What were the 2 words that I taught you prior to us hopping on stream, Smitty? You don't even remember.
What'd you say to me? Six Semper's Tyrannis?
I said glasnost and perestroika. I would be shocked if any of the half-wits in the chat knew even the first thing about glasnost and perestroika. But it'll be openness and honesty. 1980s Soviet Union. Getting rid of the wall in Berlin. All that good shit.
You don't know the first thing about Soviet Russia or even before then, the Romanovs and how the Bolsheviks came in. You don't know dick. You don't know where Six Semper's Tyrannis came in. You don't know much about anything. But you know a little bit about Barstool. You know a little bit about what goes on around here. So we're hoping this could be just like an open and honest conversation, not just about the Dave Portnoy Show, but what goes on around these parts.
Show with Eddie
We'll kick it off.
Presented by High Noon. You got the Nooners hat.
We'll skip through the
I'm
ads.
a big birthday guy. You probably saw that tweet. Everybody has birthdays.
Oh yeah, did you wish Dave a happy birthday?
I did as soon as I hopped on the DPS yesterday.
Oh well, yeah, that's like obligatory. But were you one of these ball washers who just tweeted out something towards him?
Absolutely fucking not. That's not how it is. And you should know that. Like, I don't know if that was a personal question, like a question for you because you were wondering, or if it was a question that you wanted to, you knew the answer to, and you just wanted the audience to hear it.
I wanted to see what kind of mojo we were working with here tonight, because there are plenty of ball washers that do that, who feel like they need to kneel to the third world dictator that we have in charge. A term which he finds endearing, by the way. At least the last time we heard it, the HBO show. It's like whenever allegations come out, everyone tweets out, "I trust Dave Portnoy," and I do trust Dave Portnoy. I think he's not a liar. I think he's a genuine good guy. But like, you only have to like tweet it out every time something like goes bad. It's like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I feel you loud and clear there. I think he's honest to a fault. If we're being frank, sometimes I think he, like, even when I agree with every single word he said, I'm like, maybe that just shouldn't have been said. I don't have any examples off the top of my head, but that's not something that you could get in trouble for or chastised for, I don't think. But in this day and age,
Dave,
it's just not.
Okay, we're gonna need a thing where you just like say one thing and then shut up. Because like we have audio here, we got audio there. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on.
I think he does a very good job at it. And he got.
So we're gonna just watch this and assuming that everybody has seen it already, and just go through our honest assessment of it. I guess.
At all. Like, I don't think he's intentionally like, I'm going after Ohio State, but he thinks he has
that's how I took
carte
it.
blanche to just trash people.
Okay, Dave, Ohio State, thoughts?
I do not know the first thing about that guy. I've never said a word to him like on this show. He's like, I stick to myself. I've never said a word to him. I thought hearing both sides of the story, like right off the bat, I was like, yeah, Rico's being a douchebag, and so was Marty, it sounds like. Once I heard Rico's side, and Rico's not the most eloquent speaker, not that I am by any means, but I think he was a little fired up, but I thought that his justification was, I believe him on this one. I totally believe Rico on this one. I think he probably thought about it ahead of time, which is obviously fine, but I do believe Rico was probably busting balls, but at the same time, like, he's done that to, like, Big T and Cons and other people. So, like, does he deserve the benefit of the doubt at this point? No. right off the bat, people are obviously going to take Tate's side because of Rico's past actions. But if I'm looking at it at face value, I believe what Rico said here.
Hey man, let's have a great tournament. What, do you like the Buckeyes or something? And he goes, nah, just trying to get all the heavy hitters aligned. Which is a cheap shot. I took the high road and I just said, let's ride.
What do you mean? Is that it? I don't know what format we should do, because should we just play it and pause it, or should we just fast forward? I think we should just fast forward and just give our thoughts on every little thing, assuming everyone just watched it.
Yeah, that's what I think we should do for sure.
People are saying, "Oh, why don't you do a little prep work, get clips?" I did one clip today, and it took me an hour and a fucking half to send it to CBS and get it up. And it involved one transition and just downloading an hour and a half of this bullshit and getting everything in and out. You think I have the ability or mental capacity or talent to edit up clips? That was Blaze's job, who did it great and was fired without telling me, and now he's Paddy the Baddies guy and killing it.
Who do you like? And he didn't.
Wait.
That is a nice little ironic twist to the Blaze and Barstool Sports story for sure.
So I DM him, and he's
but
like,
I mean, everybody that's in here, and we will refine this as the weeks go. But everybody in here, I'm sure, knows the Ohio State, Rico, Marty, Naduta.
Yeah. I'm gonna say it right now. Next week when we do this, we'll just have clips. We'll play the clip and then we'll react to it, because that's all out there on DPS. Right now, we'll kind of watch it on Muty and we'll give opinions on each person. Ohio State, Dave said it already. Never met him. I think I didn't hire him. I met him during the Barstool Idol period, and I didn't have an opinion either way. I just thought everyone was a nice person or whatever. I haven't interacted with him since. He does his own thing. He's a blogger and he's a teacher, and he does what he does. Dave, we both did the part-time thing while doing other full-time jobs. I was slinging pasta and doing baseball lessons while blogging for 20 other sites when I was part-time for Barstool. You were, what, a logistics teabagger?
I was a logistics broker. I started a travel baseball program that actually turned into a pretty good one. And then
define pretty good.
I have a pro ball kid right now that I coach. He texted me a year and a half ago, said, "Hey, coach, just signed with the King County Cougars," which now is independent ball, but he's getting paid to play, and he's like, "I'm still throwing the slider you taught me." So that's what I can hang my hat on.
You know who else is a professional baseball player that played independent ball?
You guys.
Yeah,
Rich Hill was one.
Yeah, your guy Marty Mush.
What about Marty Mush? Marty Mush, I didn't think had an athletic bone in his body. Then when we did the speed pitch thing on Black Monday or Cyber Monday, whatever it's called, a couple years ago, he could sling it, man. He could fucking sling it. He was throwing 75 in that shitty little, $20 radar gun.
Oh, you throw above 70, you know how to throw a baseball. That's just a fact.
Yes, 100%.
But to wrap up with Ohio State, I respect the shit out of him for essentially laying low on an island, doing the teacher thing, and still cranking out blogs. I have zero problem with that. In fact, I commend him for being a teacher. And that's pretty much the only thing I have to say about Marty. He did get dragged into this kind of out of nowhere, because he was right. He didn't just bring up Ohio State out of the blue. Rico's been talking about him and with other people all weekend. When Rico in Chicago was just firing away people and forgot, Marty just said Ohio State out of nowhere because that's all he was hearing. He got nothing against Ohio State, and I like Marty as a person. Should not have brought up the teacher shit. I mean,
no, that was stupid.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, but here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. All right, here's a couple examples that I can give, because these are the closest examples to me. I'm going to talk about Eddie, and I'm going to talk about myself. Eddie is very, 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 very calculated, and this is a good thing, and it works for him great, obviously. He's been a major success at Barstool. He's been fantastic for the company, and I love Eddie. But he's very, very, very calculated with what he says at 100% of the times. Cameras on, cameras off. I'm the opposite of that, and that's both for good and bad. Obviously, it gets me into, stupid tiffs with different people throughout the years, like Jared Carabas. Him and I got along great all through his departure with the company, but in the beginning, him and I were like at each other's throats because I'm just a loudmouth. Like, I like to bust balls, but like when people get to know me, they're like, oh, he's not the complete fucking loser douchebag that he seems like on the internet. I think Smitty can speak to that.
I can.
And Rico, I think, is probably more like me, where he just says shit, and that for good and bad. Like I feel I don't speak to Rico like often at all, So it's hard for me to get a read. I just know what I see at face value and when I see it. And the high noon throw, it sent me over the edge a little bit. I thought, like I said, it was a fucking loser move, a douchebag, cuntbag move. And this one, like I said in the beginning, I think he gets the benefit of the doubt, even though he doesn't really deserve that. I thought his justification was very good.
We need to put the wrap it up timer on White Sox Dave. Like, every time you talk, it's 2 minutes. It's like the video you sent me today. I told you just 15 seconds. Fucking talk about, hey, we're reacting to Dave Portnoy Show. We have full immunity. We're going to hear about Cheating Gate. We're going to hear about Douche Gate. Tune in. You went on for fucking 2 minutes about like your own like pizza bullshit and other bullshit that nobody wants to hear about. So right now, we're giving you the axe after 30 seconds each time.
Deal.
People are saying, why don't you react to the video? This week, it's a little fucked up because we can't just watch an hour and a half, pause it, and give our thoughts on something that everyone's seen already. That would take like till 6 a.m. and I'm not staying up all night doing this happy horse shit with this horse shitter. Next week we'll have clips ready to go, and we'll just react to the clips and keep on schedule. Right now, we're just reacting to what essentially happened already and let it go. Hire an intern. I wish it was that simple. True story. I was told game time. We used to just bring on people who like wanted ins, and that's how like Blaze got a full-time job. That's how like Youngstown Bob, believe it or not, got a full-time job. That's how like Animation Trey got hired. It's just like you helped out clipping for free. TJ did that in the past. We used to be able to do that, and then I was told that we can't do that anymore because it's actually illegal to do so. Whether that was true or not, I don't know, because it seems like other people at Barstool are able to do that. So for a while, we weren't having any help with game time, and that seems like an inside management issue at some part with Barstool. So there it is. Smitty, now you're rambling. Hypocrite. Big time hypocrite.
Yeah,
Huge.
I was just about to wrap that shit up, B.
With Rico and this stuff, I love Rico. I think he's a genuinely like decent person. Like outside of this, he's a crazy person who can't just bring up people out of the blue. He just can't. He can't like bring up Ohio State, Red Rhino, like and just like out of nowhere and expect not to get fired back upon. That's it. Like if you're gonna do it, okay, but expect to get the wrath.
Yeah, for sure. I'll say this about Rico too. Every time I've met him, like the very first time I met him, I didn't even know what he looked like. It was at the HQ1, I believe it was. I could be wrong there, but he like brought a bunch of like pastries to the office, and he like introduced himself to everybody at his core. Rico's the absolute best. He's super fucking funny, and we'll talk about talent in a little bit, but. And I don't know if talent's the word to describe most of Barstool, but like he puts asses in seats, and everybody's got their issues.
He puts asses in the seats, but it's with the two biggest personalities, like giving them like a lot, which is fine. Like I would love to do stuff with Dave and Dan 24/7.
No, you wouldn't.
I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't at all. But no, Rico.
Rico.
I think Rico will down the road, Rico will come out much, much better after all of this shit passes over. And I took his justification to Tate completely and fully to heart, and I believe everything he said. But that doesn't mean I think Tate was well in his within his jurisdiction to write that. We'll call it a hit piece, and that it was awesome. I mean, I couldn't do something like that. That took some talent. That kid can fucking write. So that's all I got on that, really. Unless you want to get to the Marty part.
No, I think it was completely justified Ohio State doing that. I mean, Marty, what else is there to say? You can't say shit on teachers. And Marty, I was standing next to Brandon Walker when he was, and he said this to me, like, outside the studio. He's just like, okay, like, the babysitting teachers, glorified babysitter stuff, that was wrong. Like, I can't do that. But saying his lesson plan's dog shit, that's just funny. And like Brandon Walker and I look at her like, that's not funny. In what world is that just like funny?
I didn't think it was funny, but I didn't think that was anything anybody should be getting up in arms about too. Because he doesn't know. But you can't say that about teachers though. They put up with a lot of shit, and especially in the last couple of years, they put up with mountains of shit. And I think he was trying to just come off as funny, and he just didn't land it. That happens to everybody. When you have our jobs, when you're constantly on a microphone or in front of a camera, and you're being recorded every single word 24 hours a day, more or less, you're gonna say a lot of stupid shit. That was just something stupid he said, and I don't think anybody should hold it against him because I don't think he actually feels that way.
No, I agree. There's a lot of happy horse shit that can just be said irrationally in the moment that nobody actually means. And I agree with you with that. Is this a review of the blog or a review of the Dave Patrick Show? Christ almighty, Dave Portnoy Show. We're trying to do a review of the Dave Portnoy Show, and then we realized the more we just like watch, the less you can like actually hear. Next week we're gonna have clips.
WSD's old teachers to react to him. I still like he was in a couple of videos of ours. My dean in high school is still a good friend of mine. I got in trouble, but standard high school stuff. I didn't get in like trouble. Like in the Sandlot. Like I got in good trouble, not bad trouble.
He thought it and typed it out. Yeah, I mean that's the power of the blog. Like you're able to just have everything in one spot and not have to worry about it. It's every one of my hit pieces, or excuse me, CBS's hit pieces are like calculated and thought out and organized and make sure there's no rebuttal happening. Like the power of the blog is well more of a tool than trying to like debate. Unless of course like you're Dave, then you can do it, or Dan. Gotta take the 5 best clip and run through this, but it's a very good idea. Yeah, next week we'll have the clips. We'll have the clips ready to go. We'll just clip it and then we'll react.
Yeah, we'll this.
And if there's somebody who really like made an impact or like flamed out or something and wants a second chance, we'll have them on too to explain themselves. Think personality should blog more than just clipping videos in the blog. People enjoy the blog. I agree. I agree 100%. Myself included.
MRAGs. All right, are we done on that topic for now?
Yeah. Paddy and Molly, both great.
Really, I watched the fight. I don't have too much on the Paddy and Molly thing though, but both awesome fights. Look at her. She looks like she got in a fist fight. Ha ha ha. I love it. I love everything about it. It's sweet. It's really cool that we do this.
You think
he's electric? That's all I got to add.
Wait a second. You think it's funny that women got hit?
In this case, I think it's entertaining. Yes, very. You can clip that.
Put it on the record. White Sox Dave thinks women being beaten is funny.
I said entertaining, and I said in this instance.
Okay.
It's
is that better or worse? That White Sox Dave thinks women getting beaten is entertaining.
in this instance, I think it's perfectly acceptable to be entertained by two women beating the ever-living shit out of each other. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what are Dave's thoughts on the cheating allegations? We're getting to that afterwards. But yeah, both elect. Hey, there's Blaze in the background. There he is. The man. Jesus Christ, that just pisses me off. Good for Blaze. Another ad.
I don't know what, is he in the chat or something? Then talking about the car.
No, he's in the back of the car. Do you think the gambling streams are entertaining without Dan and Dave? I think sometimes they're stinkers. Sometimes they have elements to them. I think they're more entertaining when somebody's like team is really in it. Like when Stephen Che is watching the Bucks, or like I'm watching the Eagles, and naturally you might have some action going on it. But I think those are very entertaining. But when you just have a couple dudes or gals on a random Tuesday night, just that aren't like Dan or Dave that have 10 biscuits on the line screaming "Let's go," and might turn a couple people off. Who knows? I'm not one to judge though.
Yeah, I think a lot of it relies on how good the game is, even if you do have a rooting interest or not. I think the game plays a lot in that, and that's something that we obviously don't have control of.
Spend $10 to get ad-free YouTube. You can do that. Molly trains White Sox Dave. Paddy trains Jerry. Next fight. MMA, R&R.
I don't know how that one would turn out.
I'm not going to lie. Dave might beat the piss out of Jerry if they...
I've been on the record. It's the only person I'll fight at Rough and Rowdy is Smitty.
And I would beat the piss out of you. So,
hey, maybe you would. Maybe you would.
Put it this way: if I lose to you at Rough and Rowdy, like you might as well just kill me because it's not worth coming back. I'm twice the size of you.
It's the size of the dog in the fight, Smitty.
I think it is. I think it is the size of the dog in the fight. And then speaking of Rough and Rowdy, I don't know what's going on with Rough and Rowdy. Dave's hiding it, but there's something going down.
Portnoy's not that much taller than me. What are you talking about?
Oh, and here he is. The White Sox Dave Blackmail. Sure, I just think we should just watch this all the way through and then comment on it afterwards.
Great product.
Because you just shake in your
next
shit
guest
the entire
in
time.
the realm here is White Sox Dave.
Happy birthday, David.
Thank you.
Are you turning it up?
So White Sox Dave, I was the ones like we should get him on. So White Sox Dave, I forget what I was doing. I saw a missed call from him. I couldn't pick it up, and then he texted me.
You called him?
Eddie.
Wait a second. You called him?
At the direction of a higher up.
What higher up? Gaz? It was Big Cat? Are you kidding? No, so now you're saying Big Cat's higher up than Dave?
I said one of the higher ups.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, absolutely batshit to call him. But, okay.
And he was basically like, I want to give you a heads up.
It's
I'm being blackmailed. Like,
Is it
I
paused or
called
what are
you
we
a
doing?
douchebag privately.
I'll pause
in
it
some conversation.
here and there.
And somebody has screenshots of this conversation. They're threatening to send it to me unless White Sox Dave buys this person opening day White Sox tickets. Do I have that correct?
You have that correct. He was also demanding Lori Lightfoot's phone number from me, and then I took like a glance down his timeline. He's like an insane
Cole, I'll
person,
adjust that after. It's a good question.
So do you have Lori Lightfoot's cell phone
No,
number?
absolutely not. We interviewed her like 2 months after she was elected. She got elected.
No, it wasn't 2 months. It was like 2 months after COVID started.
But she got elected that
19,
January, I thought.
19. But
Okay,
regardless.
So you don't know that this guy's even really got these screenshots, or he showed them to you of me?
No,
of you
he showed him,
talking-
and I was telling Eddie prior to when we
see
got in
this?
the office today. I reported him to Twitter, and it deletes the conversation immediately. So he's legit an insane person. I had another buddy who kind of dealt like.
Can I ask you a question? Why didn't you do what we talked about and just hammer the fact that it was right after Dave flew you to New York to call the Yankees game? Ellie did it and crushed it, by the way. and then flew you right back without even giving you really an explanation, and you were rightfully pissed off. Why didn't you just say that?
Simply put, I choked. Okay.
That's the simplest explanation ever, and that's what really happened. Like, you were fucking furious, you called Dave a dick, and that was it.
Dude, so I was Kenny Carkeet. So I host this music podcast on the side that's actually in the process of being picked up by Barstool as we speak. It's called On the Guest List. Kenny Carkeet is a founding member of the band AWOL Nation, and he wrote the song Sail. That's been it's gone diamond, actually. So I told him the story, and he's like, dude, you are such a fucking moron. You know, every single employee in the history of fucking labor has called their boss a douche at some point. You should have just been like, yeah, dude, you were a douche. Sorry about it. Like, I think you're a douche. And I was like, fuck.
But we talked about that before you went on.
But, Smitty, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
You turtled.
You're an idiot.
I'm not an idiot. You fucking went back in your shell. Look at you. You had no neck. You just turtled like a fucking pussy the entire time. Just stand up and say, yeah, you flew me out to New York. You had Elliot do it. You flew me back. I look like a crumb bum idiot, and I was pissed. That's all you had to say. And even Dave said later, yeah, sometimes I'm a douchebag. You can call me a douche.
I don't know Dave Portnoy well at all. I think it's honestly... How often would you say you get a text message from Dave Portnoy where you don't initiate the conversation?
I'd say once a month. Usually it's like logistic stuff, like Philly, like merch stuff or bar things that are going on, and obviously I'm on it right away. Or sportsbook stuff that revolves around Philly, or it's like. What we'll talk about, I guess, later. Don't ever get on the fucking mic at any Barstool bar again. But it's usually like once a month.
I would say I'm a little less frequent than that, maybe once every 6 weeks. And that's probably for the last year. The first 2 years I was full-time, never, ever once. But, I know Dave doesn't want to ever talk to me. I don't ever want to talk to Dave unless it's content related. I think that's the best relationship to have with him when you're in someone like myself's shoes. Obviously, that's much different for Eddie and other bigger guys at the company. And I am fully aware of the pecking order and where I fall into things at Barstool Sports. So I don't know Dave. I don't know how he's going to react to that. Dave's obviously a wild card. I knew I was going to get dragged up in the internet streets. But I want him to hear it from me first instead of this fucking random psychopath in my DMs threatening me.
All right.
And that's why I reached out to him, and his response was also, "You're talking shit behind my back." Got it. And then I'm like, dude, that's not really the case. I just called you a douchebag. It had to have been years ago, and he didn't respond. So I was like, he's actually pissed. It's hard to gauge someone's the context of how they're texting in a text message because you don't hear.
You're cut off again. You're cut off. Cut off. Christ Almighty, rambling.
When this conversation took place,
but you said you saw it.
I saw it. Yeah, it didn't
and
have
what,
any.
What exactly did it say?
And I do think he actually does like me.
I think.
No, I think so.
What it was a conversation between me and somebody else that gave the screenshot to him. I could be incorrect there. He could have just made a burner account and had it.
And you don't have the screenshot anymore?
I do not have this. I do not have the screenshots because I reported it to Twitter and it automatically deletes the conversation. I told Ed that, and I'm like, I wish I had the screenshots. He's
sounds a little fishy to me, but okay.
I think he used the term abrasive.
I don't have the volume of the.
It was. I think it was after.
And what did you say? Yes,
Dave Portnoy Show.
Sounds quite convenient that the screenshots were erased because you reported to Twitter. That's just me though.
You can go and report something I said to Twitter, and you'll see the exact same thing.
Okay.
I'm sure we've had DMs in the past.
Just quite convenient. That's all.
And he's like, all right, well, if you can't get me Lori Lightfoot's phone number, and I like I said, I glanced down his timeline. He's like insane right wing freak, and
I don't care about any of that. I'm much more concerned what you say about me privately.
Eddie, what do I say about Dave Portnoy? Would I go to war for Dave Portnoy?
And also, the guy did delete his Twitter account. He deleted it.
I especially.
He's more like Walter White than he is the original guy, and he's a douche nozzle?
And that's a word that I would never say. It was like
But
a
you said
cock
it.
douche. But I don't remember ever.
That is one thing about the transformation of Dave Portnoy. He is kind of like a Walter White turned into Heisenberg character, and he's more Heisenberg now than he is Walter White. I'll agree to that.
Yeah, and anybody in his shoes would be. And you have to be a douchebag. Like, we were talking when we first started the stream today, I was a baseball coach. Like, players either absolutely fucking loved me or they hated me. Like, there was a lot of players that would be like, that guy was such a fucking douchebag because I expected them to bust their ass. Someone in his position, especially, I had 60 kids or so in my program. He has 350 plus employees now. We're hiring, what, a ton more? Whatever it is. It's,
Okay,
Like
you're cut off again. You just compared Dave Portnoy, one of the biggest media moguls on earth right now, to your fucking travel baseball team coaching.
You're not listening to me. I'm saying that any leadership position that
Yes, absolute power corrupts absolutely. You wouldn't know that fucking Julius Caesar quote because you're an uneducated fuck. We get that. But just like putting your travel baseball coaching lineage in the same wheelhouse of the responsibility and power that Dave has is ludicrous. That's what I'm saying.
Of course it is. Of course it is. No
This conversation.
shit.
It was a one-off thing.
No shit.
Well, I mean, you
Jesus
at the
Christ.
office just the other day. You were drunk, rambling, trashing people.
Yeah, that
Is
doesn't
what
mean
you
like
do?
Are you-
I
I
wouldn't
was
go to
drunk
war
at
for
the
David
office. You got
Portnoy.
the
No,
wrong
nobody's
guy.
saying that.
100.
And I have.
There you go. Free ad. Can't wait to get the C&D for that. Midstream ads. WTF. The hell is this?
You can get rid of that by subscribing to our Twitch stream.
Oh, yes.
Isn't that how it works?
I believe so. If you subscribe to this Twitch
We all know
stream,
who
you
we're
get rid
talking
of the
about
free
here.
ads.
Are you saying Carl was drunk
Sure.
at the
Yeah.
office?
Yeah.
I'm actually, I'm
Like,
pretty
get the
sure
fuck
that's how
away
it
from
works.
him.
It gets rid of the
But that
advertisements
has
if
nothing to do
you
with this.
subscribe.
Oh,
Do you think?
okay. We just missed the intriguing part of everything.
You got the wrong guy there. 100%.
What part are
We all
we
know
at?
who we're talking about here.
Dave
Are
called
you
you
saying
drunk,
Carl was drunk at the
Yeah.
office?
Yeah.
and then he said, so
To
Carl was
guys
drunk
that
at the
get
office, and you
fuck
threw
away
Carl
from
under the
him,
bus.
but that has nothing to do with this.
Do you think
Like-
Carl was
Portnoy, I
privately
didn't bring
called me
up
a
Carl's
douchebag?
name, but I was
don't
not
know.
drunk at the office.
So you don't think I'm a douchebag, but privately you call
I
me?
was drinking at
I've
the office
called
during
Ed
the
a
stream.
douchebag. I've called Chief a douchebag. I've
I was
called
not
Dan
drunk
a
at the
douchebag. I've
office.
called
Privately?
And
Yeah,
if he
privately
thinks
without
I was
cameras
drunk
on.
at the office,
Of
other
course,
people
but
were
I'm
way
pretty sure it was
Yeah,
after I
but
was sent home from New
He,
York after
I told
landing,
you to
like,
watch
30
the
minutes
stream
earlier or
because you'd
whatever.
be able to see
And I was
like
just
right
fired
where
up.
we're at.
I do,
why'd you
but I
watch that
can't
at home?
hear the stream.
My flight got delayed,
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
I know
was-
exactly
was
where the
like-
stream's
like, it
at.
was out of
I
my
don't know
control.
what
It was
we're
beautiful
saying
day in
because I don't want there to be
Chicago
an
that
echo. I
day.
have the.
You brought up Carl. Don't say you didn't
No,
bring
I
up
don't
Carl's
think he's a
name.
douche at all. Like
I
that's,
did. Did I say his name?
Like I told you in the text chat, I'm like Dave. Like he might come at you. He might.
Did I
not.
say his
Technically, no, but you
I'd love to
agreed
see the
when
messages.
Dave
I
said
will
his name.
say this.
I would love to
But
show you the message.
I didn't say his name.
I
didn't throw anybody under the
I
bus.
talked to.
We got
he's
our
like,
the
like,
head.
Wait, you didn't throw anybody under the bus. You,
Federal
dude,
lights.
I'm going to rewind right now.
Away from right-wing,
And
like,
once again, I can't
that's
hear
the
it, you
thing.
dummy.
You better turn it up because you're just
Slams down his timeline.
contradicting
He's like
yourself.
Right-wing like freak.
All right, I gotta
Then
mute
he
myself
is the
on
original
Discord.
guy and he's a douche
One sec.
nozzle? Do you think
Like-
Carl has privately called me a douche? You, like, at the office just
now
the
I
other day,
lost
you were
the
drunk,
spot.
rambling,
I would-
trashing people? Is that what you do?
Are you? I wasn't drunk at the office. You got the wrong guy there.
I don't know where it was at. Yeah, Dave
know what
said
we're talking
you
about
just
here.
Are you saying Carl was drunk at the
Yeah.
office?
Yeah.
right there. Are you saying Carl was drunk at the office? You're just like
But
yes.
that has nothing to do
At the
with
office,
this.
you're just like
Do you think
yes.
Carl has privately called me a douchebag?
I don't know.
Privately called me a douchebag? So
don't
you
know.
don't think I'm a douchebag, but privately you call me?
All right.
I've called Ed a douchebag.
I
I've called
apologize
Chief a
for
douchebag,
throwing
I've called
Carl under
Dan
the
a
bus,
douchebag,
but
I've
like
called
I
every-
said,
yeah,
I was not
privately
drunk
without
at the
cameras
office.
on. Of
In
course.
any way,
But it was. I'm pretty
I don't know
sure
where
it was after I got
Dave
sent
got
home
that from.
From
I
New
wasn't
York
drunk
after
at the
landing,
office.
Like 30 minutes. earlier
Carl,
or
which
whatever.
we'll all see on
And I
Steel
was
Seasons
just
this
Right?
fired
week,
Are you
up.
late?
was pretty fucked up.
Well,
Why'd you get
So I was like,
home?
you got the wrong guy,
My
but
flight got
like
delayed, so
it
I
wasn't
was
hidden or
late.
anything.
Like,
We were
it
on
was out of my
stream.
control. It was
How would I
beautiful day in
throw
Chicago that
anybody
day.
under
Perfect
the
day to
bus?
call a baseball
Carl was
game,
right
but,
there in front of the camera,
but no,
in front of
I don't
however
think
many
you're
people
douche
were
at
watching
all.
that March
Like,
Madness
that's,
stream. Anyways,
it's-
they can see that.
like I told you,
I wasn't
like,
drunk.
Dave,
Carl was.
like, he might come
I've
at
been
you,
drunk
he
on
might
streams
not.
before.
I
Where
told him
Carl
to
has
fuck
been
off.
drunk on streams before.
I'd love
I
to
don't
see
know
the
what we're getting.
messages. I will say this.
I would love to show you the messages. The lawyer I talked to.
Hi, Erica.
He's like that. Like that's crossing state lines. That's a federal offense. It's like a serious.
Someone's gonna get in serious trouble.
I love when you said the lawyer who I talked to said it's crossing straight lines. The lawyer you're referring to was me sending you
Not true.
a precedent for a similar case that has happened before.
You don't know the full story here.
Indulge us, please.
Admittedly funny, but in the midst of this, a media companion of both of ours, you know him, he's a Philly guy, has had his name dragged through the mud. He's a big-time baseball Twitter guy. We were in the middle of talking about it, and he had his lawyer reach out to me.
How'd that work out?
And he was sending me articles too. Do you want me to forward them to you right now? Do you want me to give you? Well, I'll give you the guy's name off stream, but like that's not untrue. That's not like that wasn't a lie. You did send me some fucking Google link, yes. He was sending me like peer-reviewed journals from like EBSCO hosts and shit.
Pretty sure I sent the exact same the exact same information.
For threatening you?
Probably, but that I mean
Okay,
that wasn't
here's something
false.
I
I
think
can
you
see
are.
where you're coming
You
from,
like
but
you always
best
wanna
quote ever
win
was
a
when
petty
WSD
off, right?
asked Smitty about his
I'm-
kid in
I'm the
Forrest
same
Gump.
way, and
I
think
agree.
Ed can attest to that.
And
If
he
this
never
guy's trying
answered
to
that
get me in
question,
trouble
so
with
I
you,
can
get
only
me
take it
dragged
between his
along
yes, he does
the
have
internet
behavioral
streets.
disorders.
No,
And
I said thank you very
I will
much
go
for
to
comparing
war
my
with him,
kid
and
to
I
a
will
college
try to end his
All-American
soul. Like, I will
that is
try
a
to
war
fucking
hero
end
and
this
a
guy's life.
multi-billionaire.
Not literally,
Thank you.
I'm talking. I will press charges. I will do whatever I got to do to like tell this motherfucker off.
He's got his mom
How long
genes,
has
just
he
like
been
Jen.
threatening you?
It was
with
just it was just yesterday, and I haven't heard from him since. I have
So
not.
did you tell me because you were afraid I was
So,
going to see it?
I wanted
what
you
else
to
we
hear
got
from
on
me
this? What
first.
questions do you
Yeah.
have
That's
for me?
because you were afraid I was going to see it. Yeah.
If I called you a douche, it had to have been years ago. I don't know. If
Just
I was
continue to
full-time.
watch you turtle
I'm pretty
here.
Sure
Bothers me
But
is when people
it's,
say
it's privately
Just
insane.
goes
That
back and forth
game,
pretty much.
But
Time.
the tickets were.
No,
Oh,
but I thought you're still
one
like,
thing-
pursuing. Like,
If
I'm not sure where it is.
the tickets were.
But how about the part where you go to Eddie? Like, Eddie, I would fight and die for Dave Portnoy and Barstool, wouldn't I? And Eddie hesitated.
Somebody's on the lookout for her phone number.
I mean,
If you,
what's he
gave
gonna
it
do?
a
Like,
30
give me
second scan down his Twitter timeline,
what's it?
it was
The
very,
coach
very,
from
very
Miracle, a
right-wing,
pump-up speech.
I wouldn't say pump-up speech, but just like an
I didn't
instant,
say
yeah, I know Dave pretty well.
In the
He's a
1%
diehard.
of 1%
That's all.
chance
Doesn't
he
take
did
much.
do
It
something
doesn't hurt
stupid,
him.
That would be a bad look. For
No,
me.
it doesn't
I would
hurt
feel-
him at all. I think that
I don't know if I
Eddie
could get in trouble or not. I don't
would
think I
absolutely
could,
do that. I
but
think
would
that's
feel
just
like
how he reacted. Smitty,
unbelievable
you know
about
me.
it.
Would
So
I
just
die for
reported
this
Twitter, it's in
job?
their hands.
If
Yeah,
would
that's
I
all it was.
would I go to
It's
Earth's
on
Edge
Twitter.
for?
If anything,
If
far
I
as the
thought we were
douchebag
being
thing, like,
wrong,
I
if I was called
It's on
upon
Twitter.
to go to Earth's End,
Yes, if you were called upon, you would fight the good fight.
I would absolutely fight the good fight. And
Ed sent it to- 'cause
like
Ed sent it-
obviously with all the shit that's gone on with hit pieces recently, I have not been called upon, nor should I have been called upon. Nobody wants to hear my take, but I think they're all bullshit. I think they're very contrived and misleading, and I think that he should, like, I guess he's in the middle of a lawsuit. I don't know. I think that he should do everything to clear his name because I don't believe that was written in that.
And I was being extorted.
There you go.
That's
The vote of confidence from White Sox Dave that Dave Portnoy was looking for.
I
But
thought
that
you
my
were
point is
douchebag
that's exactly my point. Is that I wouldn't just say that on Twitter or anything, but we have immunity on this platform.
We do have full immunity.
Douchebag describes either of us.
So
I
that's
agree.
yeah, absolutely. I
think
like,
you're
but I
more-
wouldn't just go blasting off about that kind of shit on Twitter because that's not my place. Because of where I am in the Barstool Sports pecking order, I know that's not my jurisdiction, and I know that's not something that's going to be asked for me probably ever. But if in that small little sliver of a chance it is, I would be on the fucking battlefield.
Hey, you bagged the
Great.
deer.
Similar
Good for you.
to, who was it? TJ, when he sent that box.
I
to
did
the
bag a
Suns.
deer. I did name it Carl.
No, you'd be the first guy. Those old movies like The Patriot or whatever, where everyone marked
Yes.
is like
Yes,
nobody
be
wants
the
to be
first guy.
extorted. No.
Okay. Good work, White Sox Dave. I guess. Adequate times. Close that ad so it comes up again. Book now, please.
But we didn't talk.
Then Caleb and Haspiola.
Because I started trying to
par for the course. Caleb doing his thing. What would you rate the best videos all time of Barstool? Like if you were to give top 3 to 5, like in no particular order, is there anything that stands out?
Are you talking original content?
I'm talking anything. I'm talking anything. Because one of Caleb's is mine.
The one with Jim McElwain?
No, one from way back. One of his first videos.
Which, refresh my memory. Jim McElwain I thought was a fucking masterpiece, and I was like getting an ab workout from laughing so hard. I thought it was hysterical.
No, Caleb and Terrell Owens doing a Butterfinger ad. If you haven't seen that, people,
I don't know that I've seen that.
Oh, it's hilarious. Caleb just trolls them about Butterfingers the entire time, and it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
I think, like, we talk about talent. Like, and this is no offense to Smitty. I would hope he agrees, but, like, I don't know that you're talented per se. I think you're just a really good employee. And I would say that about myself. Like, talent, I don't know what talent is. What Caleb does is so talented. Like, people couldn't, like, nobody could just pick up and do that. That takes a fucking sharp brain, and he's awesome at it, and he's talented. Do you see what I'm getting at, Smitty?
I see where you're getting at. There was no reason to call me not talented while you were calling Caleb talented. Like, there's just no reason for that.
It's not that, I didn't mean that as a bad thing. I think that talent is the wrong thing.
How do you mean that as a good thing?
What does talent mean to you? I don't know that I have a single talent on this earth. I'm not talented at anything.
We all know that. We all know that you are a dumb, dickless, decapitated ferret, essentially, when it comes to everything that you do. But to just but to just throw out there, Smitty, like, you're not talented. Caleb is, for no reason whatsoever.
I think that talent is the wrong descriptor for 95% of the company. I think, like, a handful of people on the content side, I'm not speaking on the business side, because those people have their own talents that I couldn't even on the planet come close to duplicating personally either. But on the content side, I think, like, a very small, like, Eddie is unbelievably talented interviewer. I couldn't duplicate that. I suck at speaking. I suck at writing. I think I'm a good complementary piece to the rest of the company,
and
that's what.
You're cut off. Caleb is a 5-tool player. We all agree with that. He's smart. He's funny. There's not much that you can say otherwise. Like, Dave, your talent is growing a beard and throwing a fastball. I'll give you that. Like, those are things that you can do well that resonate with somewhat of a common person.
My arm is shot. It's dead. I don't have that talent anymore.
Right after Caleb is when my happy horse shit comes up.
It's Smitty,
like, I think talent. I think, like, an athlete. I don't think that can describe, like, or an actor. I don't think that can describe, like,
they
what
did a
we
great
do.
job with it.
Per se. I know what you're saying. I'm just busting your balls, but there's still no reason to talk to, like, a normal person and be like,
the Philly bar. That's where Smitty is coming out.
I'm not roasting all.
I don't care. I don't care what people say about you, Dave. I like you. It's like, huh?
It's
like, what are people saying?
I mean, I left because I got smashed.
If I was roasting anybody right there, I was roasting myself.
Went home. I was in bed.
Like, I
just checking on
how
the
cut off.
Bar is doing,
cut off,
basically. And on the Barstool Philly Instagram, Blockhead comes up on the microphone screaming at people up there. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I almost got out of bed. If you know anything about me, and I don't want these bars to run, I don't want our personalities.
I do enjoy college bar here and there. If you're in Chicago, I do enjoy Halligan's, which is the DePaul
I sent
bar.
a company email. Said nobody's allowed
great
on the
spot.
microphones without permission. I texted Rick, who did the bar. I'm like, dude, I didn't specify Smitty. I'm like, do not let anybody on the
And
microphone.
there goes Dave
He
talking over the Dave Portnoy Show. So pretty much what this is about that got misconstrued, that wasn't said on the Dave Portnoy Show, was Dave saw me on the mic doing essentially an Eagles chant, and he almost got out of bed. He saw that at like 2 a.m., which if I just got up there, hammered, pushed the DJ out of the way, and just started spewing Eagles chants and Philly shit, like, yeah, that's an issue. That's not what happened. That's not what happened at all, as I go on to explain.
Actually, like, we're going to get rid of the microphones at the bars. He doesn't like microphone talk either. Hank, the next day,
Rainbow commenter, I
was
have
like,
no
talking
idea.
to two
You've been the
girls.
last couple days.
Dave, you can't fucking answer the chat when, like, people are watching the video. Do you understand that?
When Smitty got on the mic and they're both like, what is going on right now? You just don't want to
Not anything what Hank said to me that night, by the way.
be at a bar and someone's screaming at you on a microphone. I know Smitty feels differently because he texted the next day, this is how you win Philadelphia. But that.
And I texted Rick, the bar owner, who said to me, I just watched the video, epic stuff, and I responded, yeah, that's how you win Philly. Just go up and do an Eagles chant. Rick was right there. The bar owner was right there when I did that.
That's what happened. It wasn't personal at Smitty. Anybody did that, I would have the same exact reaction. Then I got a
Rick,
picture of
great
Smitty
guy.
that I
Great
just
guy.
was laugh out loud funny of him screaming on the microphone.
And again, the personal stuff on Smitty. The reason why I was worried is I got very concerned responses from people who was with Dave, who was very angry at the time. He texted Gaz, until he knew the full story, he actually texted Gaz, if I had a gun and I was there, I would have shot Smitty. And, you know, kind of worried me a little bit. Kind of worried me. Which I don't care about. Like, I know he's joking. I know he actually wouldn't, like, kill me. But, like, until he got the full story, like, yeah, he was pissed.
From like back. So it wasn't.
Also, losing a lot of money Friday and going off stream doesn't help. Doesn't help the emotions. You know, if you have to take it out on somebody, you find the easiest culprit.
This was not a I hate Smitty or
Guy
anything.
with
If
the
anybody
microphone.
did that, it would be the same exact reaction.
Okay, and that's fair. The lead up to it, I'm not sure if you know, we were off stream. I was talking to somebody by the bar, and the DJ got on the mic and thanked everybody for being there, thanked you, and then said, hey, let's everybody get it going. Viva, viva, viva.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that.
Yeah, and I'm standing there, and, you know, the pop was rather lackluster. I know you're a connoisseur of pop, and I know how to get some pop in Philly. You just do an Eagles chant. So I go up to the DJ.
No doubt an Eagles chant's a USA chant.
Exactly.
It's a layup.
Exactly. I mean, you do it at weddings, funerals, baptisms, like whatever. It's going to get some pop in Philly. So I got up to the DJ, who was doing a great job, and I was just like, hey, can I get up and do an Eagles chant? Rick was right there. I get up. I play the hits that you basically been doing since 2011 in Philly. Say, thanks for coming out. Commended you for bringing Barstool to Philly. Say, hey, we're watching every Eagles game here. We're bringing another championship here for the Eagles. Comcast is going to sell the team for the Flyers. We'll be back on them. Let me hear it. EAGLES Eagles. Got decent pop. Went off. Shook hands with Rick. They put it up on social. That was it. I mean, essentially. And sometimes with you, especially with me, Dave, I don't know the level of seriousness you're coming at because especially
I'm
now.
dead ass serious.
Smitty decided to take the cringe out, put the company on his back, and deliver it. I don't even know about that. All that I know is we've been doing this since 2011 in Barstool, Philly. If anything was needed to like get the people cooking, like I'm gonna try to do it. Like that's just me. I understand, like at the bar that we're trying to put out now at least, and we're trying to make it more of like a nightclub vibe and eliminate that sort of stuff. on the weekends and during nights when, you don't want that to happen. I understand that. But for the moment, EAGLES. Almost spelled it right.
Nobody on the microphone.
No, that's fine.
And all this means is, Dave, next Chicago bar, you need to get on the mic. Seriously.
Smitty,
Test the waters. We have immunity.
I was cycling through this idea in my head yesterday when I watched the Dave Portnoy Show. And if the White Sox win the World Series, I will do it. That night.
You have to. You have to. You have immunity, Dave. You have full immunity. Smitty, you've been here for 20 years. How are you worried about your job when that happens? Well, I mean, you saw the email instantly that went out after, and Dave texted me, don't ever go on any bar, or don't ever go on the mic at any Barstool bar ever again. That was the text that I woke up to the next morning. So, I mean, was I realistically worried about my job? No, of course not. But, again, as you hear later on, sometimes Dave Portnoy's emotions cross over to my kid having health insurance a little too much, and I get a little worried. The stakes are high right now. I can't afford to lose this job. If it was just me 10 years ago, I go back to slinging pasta. Right now, it'd be a little more rough.
That's fine.
But it
Yeah,
wasn't,
no,
it
that
was
so
like
you
that,
understand
everything
where I'm
that
coming
I
from
said
when
and did
it's hard
would have
to
been handled the same
grasp
way,
tone via
regardless of who
text
was on the
message
microphone.
when it's
It
coming
just
from your
happened to be
boss,
you, to me,
especially
kind of
when
plays
that
100%.
boss is
like
Dave.
the thing.
100%.
But what you just said beforehand.
So that's why I was shitting my pants, but you didn't really do anything
I've
wrong,
spoken with it.
especially when the full story is
the
laid
Viva
out there.
chant,
In the end,
cringeworthy.
Cut off, Dave.
The
Cut
DJ
off.
would try to start that at the bar. Now, here's the thing with Barstool.
You're too
and the
liberal
bars.
with the cutoff.
I'm not too fucking liberal with the cutoff. You were just rambling about nothing. Just nothing. We got the point after the first sentence. And yes, my wife is a veterinarian. She's awesome.
my dog's better.
She is. She. Ace owes my wife so much
A lot of
money for consultations. I get a call once a week asking to talk to my wife from White Sox Dave with something about your fucking dog. The best was what? Like 6 months ago, you called and there was like a red spot on him, and you sent a picture over and she couldn't figure out what it was, and it ended up being dried tomato sauce.
That was not true. He had hives for a couple weeks.
That was very true. It's scraped right off.
What we're seeing in Chicago and what will be.
That's not
it's
true.
very
He
easy
had
for us
hives.
to
I
get
don't know what from.
daytime
And I had to get this
sports
phone.
Barstool crowd.
Right from you.
It's busy at night where it's a little. It's not a
Big
sport
Boss
bar
NYC.
necessarily.
Actually,
You
I
can watch
will
the
answer
game,
that question.
but it's
I was
like pretty
making
girls, nightlife,
pretty
bottle
fucking good
service.
money in logistics. If anybody in here,
Do you want me to start? Do you want me to stop the Dave Portnoy Show while you talk about your logistics shop?
I mean, we get the point. We know it happened. We listened to the last 5 minutes of it. You didn't do anything wrong, but it's like if you have no discernible skills like I do, then you go work in the logistics industry. If you have any willpower to make money at all, you will make a lot of money. That's what I did, and that's probably what I would go back to, unless someone wants to offer me DraftKings equity or something, which would never happen.
That would be nice.
Philadelphia can't do it in Chicago.
That would be nice.
You like Mike? I've been out plenty. Someone grabs a mic, it's not what you want to hear. It just isn't.
Totally. And this wasn't, 2 a.m., high hours of the night. This was like dinner time.
Okay.
6. What is the
Got the
patsy
gist.
for the precedent of all this?
Blockhead.
Because it is Barstool.
And I do agree.
Barstool
I do
person,
agree
you or
that
anybody comes
any
up, it's like, oh,
Tom,
yeah,
Dick,
yeah.
Harry,
So I'm just-
or Coach Doug's, or Drunk Carl, or White Sox Dave, anybody should not be able to get up on the mic at 2 a.m. Like Dave is insinuating what I did up until he learned the truth.
There's no need for a mic.
I think the only people that could really do that and get away with it would be Dave, Dan, Kev, and maybe like Spitting Chicklets. Like, pretty much it.
Kevin?
Kev,
He's
Kev, $1 million worth of game.
Oh yeah, those guys. Yeah, Kevin, he would be relentlessly shit on by Dave though. Even though he's he's fully immune to anything basically. But
notice I gotta address this. Notice Glenny Balls doing content since Dave called him out a few weeks ago. A little known fact: Glenny Balls has been one of the highest page view worthy and aggregate bloggers for like 2 years now. Balls does I mean, I'm not going to go out of my way and say Balls does a shit ton. He still leaves like the dream life, but Balls like works hard. Actually, Balls does a lot.
Balls does a lot. Balls is a great blogger.
I got Balls' back
and Dave,
to the death.
We talked about if you were a war general with White Sox Dave, can you give us a
Smitty would be right out there. He'd be March 1st. Now, whether he'd march, I don't know.
Oh, I'd march.
But he'd have the musket.
Give me the musket. Give me the fucking flag. I'll be that guy or the drummer boy. That's all you need.
Okay.
I would be the drummer boy.
There you go.
Or Morpheus said 413 because he only posts OnlyFans girls. Work smarter, not harder.
Like I want to
exactly.
Go, like we talked to Jeff D. Lowe and stuff. Do like a dozen weekly or monthly like trivia night, like on Monday or Tuesday, like a low night.
I do want to get a trivia night at the Barstool Philly bar. 100%.
Wednesday trivia night. Obviously,
harmonica boy. I don't hate that.
You start going like Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. You want that to be a place to align that pretty people, and I'm not being like. People always take this out of context. You want it to be a place that our crowd is good, but girls, guys, like it's top of mind, like one of the places you can go to in Philly and have a good night. You don't want it to be like people might just get like a Hooters type thought in your head. Yeah. And when you launch, you got to be careful.
Hooters is nice.
Starts putting how people view your place, and once it is there, that's how people view it. It's not too. There's a lot of places. Bars, and we want to be similar, that kind of change at a certain point in the night. It's like it starts at a place you can go watch a game, sit down, eat food, and then it gets later, they clear tables. It's a different vibe. Exactly. We're trying to get both.
That's all fair. One last thing, this idea has been kicked around for
and here it is.
White Sox Dave and
the idea of the millennium.
Cat actually brought it up again. Well, exactly. You should have that face. We talked about doing a live Dave Portnoy show with White Sox Dave and Smitty, where we would just react to everything you say.
That would be funny. Yeah, no, that would be funny.
Oh, but there's one condition. Both of us would need pure immunity from anything.
JBF goes, he had hernia surgery. He didn't have big guy surgery. He addressed that already.
White Sox Dave was on here earlier, and he's being extorted for calling me Jew. That stuff does not bother me.
Okay.
I don't care what people. I am not Rico. I can dish it and I can take it.
All right, that's all. I mean, you just leave the animal out of the barn. You know, you might have some mess you need to clean up.
That's fair. Leave the animal out of the barn.
So it's not like new. They asked this a while ago, and
I actually don't know any of the stuff from Dave's world. Did you see any of it?
I did not actually.
So, like people being poached from DraftKings? Has anybody else been poached?
The things I was accused of, you have to.
Not that I'm aware of.
Get like regulated in Las Vegas.
I'm actually going to turn this up, so I'm going to mute myself.
I want to tell the truth. So I just didn't understand what the point. When you own 100% of it, if I'm a Penn employee, which I'm not right now, or Dan's not, I don't know if that changes the structure. I think that's what he's referring to.
Gotcha. So you guys might, and myself, we won't be able to bet on it, maybe?
No, I have no idea. That's above my pay grade.
Mm-hmm. But I could see why people would read into that.
Anybody? You mean like he's going to do something bad with me?
Not something bad, but he'd just like, hey, wait for the third quarter. Like the way that reads, it's like the third quarter, like there's going to be some type of change.
I think the genesis of that article was to try to actually trip us up on some sort of legality, or like that Jay and I aren't 100% on the same page, which we are. Meaning like, well, what if he says you can't do this or that? It's like, I'm going to do whatever he says to do because I trust him inherently, and what's in the best interest of him and Penn is in my best interest. And I know that Jay wants us to promote, so he's going to do whatever he can to get the most value out of myself and the rest of Barstool.
Did you talk to him right after the article?
Yeah, it's what we thought. I talked to him before it, after it, during it. Like,
gotcha.
There's no lack of communication between Barstool and Penn. Yeah,
I mean, it really was. At the end of the day, Like, of course they're gonna. If someone complains, they gotta say they'll look into it. And
if someone's accused of murder, you have to look into it.
Yes, correct.
So what was if a Wall Street Journal reporter calls a regulator? Hey, did you read this article on Dave Portnoy? Are you looking into it? Yeah, we're looking into it. Okay, why is that? That's newsworthy. Get the fuck out of here.
Do you think it's an attempt to just keep this shit in the news?
Yes.
And I mean, I don't think they've had Wall Street Journal.
No, who knows? You never know. You never know why anybody does anything. I think a lot of what is said about me is just competitors using dirty tactics. I really believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, it could be, enemies putting in calls at, like, someone over here. Hey, why don't you...
Never know.
Pretty much same
that
stuff.
MGM's like, well, we...
We could get more into the Barstool fun next week since we're running long. Cons got married. Any words for Cons?
Congratulations.
Congrats, Cons.
And then look a beautiful bride.
Nothing about him. You don't think he looked nice?
Yeah, he looked like Cons.
You get invited to Cons' wedding? You're muted. You dumb Neanderthal fuck.
Yes, by his wife I did. It wasn't an official invite, but I could have gone, and I would have technically been invited. We skipped over that part. So Cons and I love Captain Cons. Every time I go out there, I make it a point, because Cons isn't full-time at Barstool, to make sure I try to get to New Jersey, because he lives in Hoboken, to hang out with Cons. I go at it with Cons on Twitter all the time, and I love picking on him. But, like, Cons is my fucking guy. I love Captain Cons. But Portnoy thought that I was, like, serious with him last week. I'm not. I love just busting his balls. That's it.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah,
because it does look like you two hate each other at some point.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I love Captain Cons.
I love me some Cons too. Yes, I was invited to the wedding. I couldn't go because of the Barstool bar opening, which like pissed me off a little bit when Dave started to go after me. Doesn't matter anymore. I was just like, that was our first like vacation, like since the baby. We had all planned out, everything booked, and then the Philly bar opened. We got let know we were let to know that like a month ago. Had to like cancel everything, and just would have been nice to have been down there. But the Philly bar is awesome. So that was nice as well.
Something about Rough and Rowdy?
So that kind of wraps it, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just
Big
Rough
Boss.
and
Hold on, we're talking about Rough and Rowdy.
I'm not.
Smitty at 150 viewers and ranks at 50. Barstool Gaming really taking off. This isn't gaming.
Maybe the name and who hosts it.
I mean, this is going to do numbers anyways because of the context. It's Barstool related. That's our core audience.
Just be like a different name.
And like 150 is not anything to fucking like be proud of right now, but it'll grow over the coming weeks. We hope once we refine the product a little bit.
Okay, and then last thing here before we wrap up, were you involved in that Jack Mack NYC Twitter?
The Jack Mack thing. Okay, one note about Rough and Rowdy. Somebody had a question for me earlier, asking if I feel like bad or shafted that we only got 10K, meaning the winners only got 10K when I fought in Rough and Rowdy 2, and now they're throwing out like 50K to Bobby Lang and stuff. Short answer, kinda. Like, it just sucks. I mean, it's not Barstool's fault or anybody's fault, but yes, it would have been nice to like get that payday compared to what we got early. Hank, myself, Mush, Chef when he fought again. Like, obviously, we'd rather have 50, 100K than the 10 which I got. But it really is what it is.
That's we're fighting each other at a Rough and Rowdy in due time.
I guess. Paddy getting 12K was wild here. Not that it matters that much, but I think it was 12K in pounds, which is 24K, which is a little better, but not that it matters. It's still getting more. I
started following UFC. So this isn't a humble brag. I had to stay in from like basically the New Year through March 1st because I bought a house and I like was not allowed to spend money. And I got really into UFC because I was alone every Saturday night for the most part, and there was nothing else on. So I got into UFC, incredible sport, and I really think he's going to be a fucking superstar. Man.
Oh, I think he is too, and I hope he is. That'd be awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I love that guy.
Okay.
Love that guy.
I love this guy. This is the gentleman who breaks down every dozen and potential controversy that happens. And yeah, had a few things I want to clear up with you, Dave, live as we watch. So this is all new. This is all you. Please respond as you will.
Right here, we're looking at the very first question.
The very first question, Dave.
It's this question about Gerald Wallace. We'll take a look at Dave here. We'll zoom in on him. We'll get me out of frame. It's all about Dave here, but let's just watch the question together.
I mean, I feel like it's so easy that it's not going to be the right answer.
What'd you say? So in my brain, I went Gerald Green. And now I can't think of who Gerald.
So I'm going to pause it there. It's so easy that it can't be the answer.
Hold on. Can you zoom in? Or
But
that's
he's
him
not saying
zooming
it right.
That's
now.
him zooming in.
And he's looking down.
Okay,
he's
so
kinda looking back
I would
and
have to see
forth.
what everybody
Let's keep
else is
watching
doing.
Dave here.
Like I honestly almost want to rewind this Twitch stream to see like what my eyes are doing because I'm not like staring at the same thing every single fucking time.
We like the pay. I don't know.
I think you can clear it up right now. What's below you?
Below me?
Yeah, like what's below your computer?
You can go and fucking look this up. All right, what's today? Wednesday? On Monday, I got a new TV stand delivered for the new place. I've been waiting for it for weeks. I built it in the middle of. I built it on Tuesday. I didn't feel like building it Monday. I built it Tuesday, and you can see me like kind of live tweeting me building this this new entertainment stand. My TV was more or less on the ground for the last 3 weeks while I was waiting for this TV stand. I bought an 85-inch TV, okay? I got roasted like a week earlier because I tweeted a picture. I think it was of the dog, and people were like, holy shit, that TV is way too big for that TV stand. The TV stand was basically on the ground. It's on right now. I don't know if my face is flashing or not. I don't care if it is or not, but people were like, oh, was the TV on the ground? Actually, it kind of was on the ground until Tuesday night when the dozen aired, not when we recorded it. So until Tuesday, it was basically on the ground for all intents and purposes.
Where did Gerald Wallace go to college?
Gerald Wallace?
Gerald Wallace, yeah.
I don't fucking know. Oh, that's the Jared. I know who Jared Wallace is. He's played for the Celtics. I threw out the Charlotte Bobcats at the end because we literally just got off the phone with Frank Kaminsky for the dog walk, and I think of him as the Charlotte Bobcats, like him and MJ. I don't know shit about basketball, and I know he doesn't play for the Bobcats anymore.
Maybe
I was like,
Pacers
oh, Frank
now.
Kaminsky just
I mean,
spoke
he's
to him.
spending so
Charlotte
much time
Bobcats.
looking down. He's saying,
Phoenix Suns, yes. Charlotte Bobcats.
Okay. Went to Alabama, by the way.
You could have given me 100 guesses. I probably would have got it at about guess 50.
throw the Charlotte Bobcats out there.
Pacers take ran out of time.
And you're lucky here because Smockin kind of fucked themselves because they thought that going to guess the
round. Chicago, you have your other side. Chicago, you have your double sip. Smockin, you have your phone friend, but it doesn't matter.
So this guy breaks down every dozen.
NFL is the last category.
Oh
yeah.
Win with a double dip. Come on, guys.
For the win.
Oh, don't give him a sports. All right.
See, like I'm looking at Kenjack right now, and his eyes are all over the screen
All right,
too.
now we're here on round number 12. It says television.
What about Donnie's eyes, huh?
Now again, I'm just going to zoom
all
in
over
on
the
Sox
screen.
Dave here,
Now you know why he's been wearing those sunglasses for
and
the
you
last
guys
few
be the
years.
judge. I can only give my opinion.
Speaking of which, Rediscovered America, coming back this summer, featuring WSD.
Definitely not supposed to announce that, but
I'm told.
Yeah, I can.
I don't think you are.
Titans, remember we got double dip here.
Immunity.
Darius Walker with the Notre Dame.
No, that's not a big deal.
Correct. You have immunity.
I've talked about that many times with Nikki,
What about the
like publicly.
Now Jeff might be able to correct me here if someone else was typing.
I'm trying
that was
to
not on screen.
boondoggle Rediscovering
you can
America to
literally
like
hear
Hawaii
typing
or Alaska or the
as
Caribbean or
Dave
something.
is looking down here. Let me
That'd be
reverse
sweet.
this. even just like a few seconds. As he's looking down, listen, you can literally hear
he's saying he can hear typing right here.
Right, listen.
Dave.
Darius Walker was a Notre Dame guy.
I mean, as we say this, whenever I'm on the computer on a Zoom call, I fiddle with this fucking vape pen that's been out for 8 months.
But I feel like Al Davis would take him on green.
So much.
I've been doing it since we started this Zoom call. I haven't watched this video and I can't hear him.
Why am I thinking?
But I wasn't typing shit.
I could be.
White Sox Dave's defense. I wasn't typing shit. Right answer. And then
Bill's Mafia, yes, that is a plan. I got my passport and everything, so that is a plan.
What was the question here?
So this is the Amon Green one.
Yes, the Ron Dane.
Dane, yes. So obviously, being an NFC North fan and a Big Ten fan, I know Amon Green pretty well and Ron Dane pretty well. Immediately when the question was asked, I'm like thinking, okay, Ron Dane went to Wisconsin, all-world running back at Wisconsin. I didn't know where he was from. I thought maybe he was from like a Milwaukee suburb or Milwaukee or something. So I'm thinking, I'm like, did he go home to the Green Bay Packers? I'm thinking this in my head. Did he go home to the Green Bay Packers and play with them for like a victory lap, basically, for his career or something? And I'm like, I don't remember that. And then I looked at the question again, and I'm like, oh, shit, it's an AFC team. Then I'm like, Ron Dane played for, I know, at least one AFC team, and the other two teams were who?
Come on.
Smitty, I'm asking you.
Giants and Broncos?
The last, 20.
Was it? No, I think is that Maurice Claret? I thought it was the Giants and someone said Cowboys? So I'm like, wait, the only AFC team that I know he played for.
Probably not.
And I was about to say the Houston Oilers. I didn't. I had to catch myself. I said Houston Texans.
He definitely played for the Broncos.
What does Jeff D'Lo do about this?
I thought, okay. I thought that was the only AFC. I don't remember him on the Denver Broncos. I thought the only AFC team he played for was the Houston. I almost fucking did it again. Texans. And so I'm like, Houston Texans, right? Or whatever I said. And then Chief knew it immediately, and Carl knew it immediately. And it was me throwing a shot in the dark, going by process elimination. Okay, Big Ten school. Green Bay Packers with Amon Green. If I'm a cheater, I'm never gonna get over this. So from now on, I'm gonna, like I said on the rundown today. I don't know if that's. I said I'll go Edward 40 hands without the 40s. I'll duct tape my hand shut if need be, and I'll have someone pipe in an extra camera, so you can see my hands in my face and what's on my screen and shit.
Never heard of somebody just saying, oh, they'll show their hands taped. Or wear mittens and describe it as, I will wear Edward 40 hands without the 40s.
Everybody's dragging Colin down the gutter, too. So Colin's my phone a friend. Colin's in a rock band, and Colin knows literally every single fucking thing about music. Everybody thinks he cheated, too. And I haven't gone back and listened to the episode yet, but with Colin, he was at the recording studio because they're on tour again, first tour they've been on since the pandemic started. I did hear he was on speakerphone, obviously, it was FaceTime. So there might have been people shouting behind him the answer to the question without even realizing what the phone call was about. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's what happened. I'd have to watch again. But people think Colin was cheating too. And Colin, he wasn't cheating. Just take my word for it, which is
Fair.
But
no, I don't think Colin was cheating either.
Yeah, Colin. Colin's like a little shy, reserved kid. Yeah. He's a little dork. I hope he's watching this.
Of course. All right, that wraps up the first ever Dave Portnoy Show featuring Smitty, White Sox Dave, and company. We'll have it more organized next week. Shit, we might even have to drop for a couple after next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you at tomorrow? You around?
I'm interviewing for my music podcast tomorrow, 311. I'm sure all of you know who 311 is. And then we're recording a steak draft tomorrow.
You could not name one 311 song.
Come Original, Amber, All Mixed Up. Those are 3 right off the top of my head from 3 different albums.
How about Down? You work with a sack of shit. Exactly. Just cheating.
And the color of your energy.
Okay.
Whoa.
We'll see you on Friday. Believe it.
Are we doing a game? Are we doing a little post game? Do we want to answer questions?
Do a little post. Okay. Anybody want to fire away? Go ahead.
You guys
we'll fire away for a minute.
And we'll even use this as a time to give some constructive criticism on this first stream. That's actually one question I'm going to ask them about 311, the police code. I wasn't promoting DraftKings. It was an inside joke between Barstool, fuckface. DraftKings equity. There's a whole long list of jokes. People are very aware that DraftKings exists.
Smitty, favorite cheesesteak spot in Philly? Del Sandra's. My favorite. And that's no shade against any other cheesesteak spot. They're basically all delicious.
I will say that I've only been to Philadelphia one time, which is kind of funny since my entire mom's side's only like 45 minutes away. But I love the city. And I was there in the middle of the pandemic. There wasn't anything to do. And I was like, I like this town.
Best person to watch a college baseball game who was at the stream? College basketball game who was at the stream?
Jake Marsh he knows every single fucking player on every team.
Yeah, he does. Just like hamming it up. I like hamming it up with Brandon Walker. Just like shooting the shit.
I like hamming it up with PFT a lot.
Yeah, he's good too. Put it this way, there's nobody bad on the stream that like you wouldn't want there. Is roast pork sandwich better than a cheesesteak sandwich? I like cheesesteak better, but Denique's roast pork couldn't find a better way to go. Title of the stream doesn't really make sense. Probably not. Blockhead's reaction hour, sure. Do you get more nervous around Dave the bigger Barstool gets? No. There was a period of time in which I wasn't nervous around Dave at all because I just assumed we were on the same page, which I thought, like, we honestly were when it comes to, like, shit talk and, like, going back and forth, in which he said in the past, like, before we moved to New York, he's like, yeah, keep that up coming at me. Like, there's obviously no hard feelings, but it's good. Like, we want that, like, anti-establishment feel. And I think I, like, got ramped up in New York at some points, especially, like, during the Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl. Like, there's no reason why Showergate, like, had to become exactly, like, what it was. Like, I didn't, like, really give a shit about that at the end. I cared initially because I actually thought he put my dick out on the internet because Hank and Rhea were trolling me. But, like, after that, like, I didn't care. Like, whatever. But I held firm because it was the fucking Super Bowl. Like, I'm going to try to, like, get everything in my corner that I could. Like, Patriots, Eagles. Like, we're at war here. So, I mean, maybe that was taken a little too seriously, and it got out of hand. But any other time, like, I think the nervousness, like, needs to be there a little bit. Just out of respect. What happened to Mario Kart? I love me some Mario Kart. Thoughts on Rico, Smitty? I'm a rider. Hello, Blockhead and White Sox Dingleberry. Appreciate the Dingleberry.
Dingleberry's a nice little subtle jab. I appreciate that. Hold on. There was one I wanted to answer up a little more. Where'd it go?
Your death sock background is so dope. I agree. Get the wood.
Oh, how did the Chicago guys meet? Neil hired us. Neil hired Big
Wow.
Cat Chief and Neil got fired because he was just he wasn't right for running Barstool Chicago, and that was when you couldn't just like reassign him or add him to Content New York or whatever. Big Cat obviously took over. It exploded. Funny story, I got hired with Chief. Carl and Eddie came a year later, but Chief got fired because they didn't think he was entertaining enough, but came back for the hockey playoffs. I forget why exactly they were fired. I said not entertaining enough. They had a reason, whatever it was, I don't know. But I've been here since July of 2012, so it'll be 10 years this July.
I didn't know Chief got the boot.
It was only for like a month or two, and then Neil was gone, and and Chief reached back out to Big Cat. He's like, "Hey, you guys got the hockey playoffs starting. You guys don't know a fucking thing about like the innards of hockey. Like, let me at least blog that." And he did, and the rest is history. He's great. He's actually a fucking great writer.
Yeah, Chief's good stuff. You still streaming poker nights, or does someone micromanage that as well? No, not micromanage. Just like can't get the band together that often. Specifically the Cracking Aces band, but I really, really, really want to get that back. And also, like on the home front here, like things are all happy, healthy, but Jesus Christ, it's tough traveling a lot of days to Manhattan and then like having to stream at nights with the old kid, especially who doesn't sleep that often. So it's tough. It's tough getting back on the stream schedule. I hope to be back more often than not, but it's not easy sticking to it. Smitty, who's your best friend at Barstool? Everybody's my best friend. Does Barstool pay for your Amtrak? No.
Glasnost and Perestroika, Smitty. You have to answer that truthfully and sincerely.
What? Best friend at Barstool? Everyone's my best friend. I'm friends with everybody.
Does Chief Purples? No, he's just a fucking weirdo. When I first learned of Barstool years ago, I followed Portnoy, Big Cat, White Sox. There we go. Look at that.
And there it is. We're gonna end on that, David. On a good note. No, White Sox Dave is one of my best friends. Riggs and I really don't talk that much anymore because like he's not human. Rightfully so. He's like on the A list, but we used to be besties. Balls is up there. Everyone I'm pretty friendly with. Like, who would have been invited to my wedding? I'll answer this. If my wedding wasn't affected by the pandemic, I'll give you. What do you think the over/under is, Dave? On how many people would have been invited to my wedding from Barstool?
Content only 10.
10?
Yeah.
It would have been 2.
Who?
Dave Portnoy and Erica.
That's it?
That's it, and both of them wouldn't have showed. We were having a strict no Barstool policy at the wedding, and that wasn't an offense to anybody. Like I would have liked to, like Captain Cons is one of my best friends. Like obviously like Riggs and you, like you guys, I would have wanted, but it was just like there was no cutoff. Like at what point do you just like stop? And we both had big families. Like there was going to be a 250 person wedding, like without the Barstool people there. So, and plus she is not content, and neither is like her family. Like, no. So it would have been tough to keep down to rat.
I would have expected an invite, just so we're clear, but that's fine.
And you wouldn't have gotten one. You could have came to the after party.
And I would have ripped it up.
Of course you would. All right. That's all she wrote. DPS with Smitty and White Sox Dave. We'll be back next week.
And, I get top billing of this show. It's White Sox Dave, Smitty and Co., not Smitty, White Sox Dave and Co. But we'll fix that next week.
The Dave Portnoy Show featuring Smitty, White Sox Dave, and company. Out.